I'm Panache. I'm the producer and one of the stars in Drag down at the Metcalfe Theatre, showcasing from the 4th to the 9th of October. And we're also starting off Pride Month, so there'll be a lot of people from all over WA coming down to celebrate and take part in the show as well. When I wanted to do drag, I wanted to make a statement. I knew sort of it wasn't a hobby I wanted to do, it was something I wanted to pursue, so I thought I had to come up with a name that would just sort of say who I am, and Panache seemed to do that for me. You know, it's that classy, elegant sort of stance that I feel like I've held. So, yeah. Drag in a lot of people's eyes is sort of a club performance where people can have a few drinks and watch the show and be very casual about it, you know, have a glance, have a chat, have a, you know, another glance. Whereas what we've done here is taken it outside of the club environment and put it into the theatre for it to be respected, and not just doing sort of modern day songs, but taking it as far back as Shakespearean times when men played female roles, and also looking at the different genres of drag, from impersonation to comedy to drag as an art form, and that can be anything from vocal singing to complete mime without any vocals, like just movement of the hand and the expression in your face and emotions and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of people out there that aren't exposed to drag or have this mindset of what it is, and this show says to them not only what it is, but what it can be and where it can go and where it has been, because we also take it back in history and show people that this is where it's come from, this is how it originated, and sort of we take them on a narrated story through where it has been and how it's come to be today and what people play with and toy with. Well, I started off as early as when I was a young boy. I actually saw a film called The Birdcage, and although I didn't really think I was going to be doing drag at that time, I saw the performers and I was like, wow, I must have been 12, and I was like, people do that? People get on stage as a female and in heels and run about, and I just fell in love with the idea. And then much, much later, when I went to a club and saw my first drag performance, I just basically stopped in awe of this performer. And it wasn't a modern day song, it wasn't a huge colourful performance piece, it was just a tiny ballad of one queen just standing on a podium, not even moving her feet, just expressing emotion, and she really made me feel these emotions that just came out of what I was feeling. And I sat there and I thought, that is something I would love to do, to be able to touch people's emotions and bring out feelings in them, and either make them smile or maybe make them cry, or something that I could know I did that, you know. And then it was a matter of just getting my first dress at an op shop, which was very embarrassing for me at the time, but now it's just nothing, it's off the shoulder, it's something I do all the time. And then I slowly got into some amateur nights and entered a competition, and 4 years later, here I am, starting a production show that's touring now. When I really got into doing drag, I noticed that it wasn't really taken seriously, you know? It was more something people in the environment it was in would either laugh at or just sort of look at and think, oh, that's cool, but it wasn't taken seriously. And the thing people don't understand is a lot of work goes into getting up there for those 3 minutes at 1 AM in the morning. You know, you restructure your face, you apply makeup, you change everything, some people put as much as 10 layers of stockings on, and there's a whole lot of things that go into that, as well as rehearsing and learning lyrics, and not only just dancing and performing to the song, but also becoming that performer for that moment and going through the same emotions that performer went through. So I thought, this has to be told, you know, people have to understand what goes into it. So I thought, how could I do that? And it was when I was doing a internship down at the Blue Room Theatre for producing. And at the end of that internship, I thought this would be a perfect platform to show people what drag is, because the Blue Room has an established audience, they have reoccurring seasons, and I thought it was definitely guaranteed to get noticed. So I came up with this concept with a very renowned writer in the city, John Aitken, and together we formed this narrated piece that not only showed people drag is fun, and for a moment, you know, you can witness Bette Midler or Liza Minnelli or Tina Turner, but you can also see that by sitting there without the drink, without the friends, without the club music, just sitting in a dark room and watching the show, you can take in every emotion and every movement. And it worked. By doing that at the Blue Room, I had people come up to me after, for example, there's one number I do in the show by Liza Minnelli called It Was a Good Time, and that was in her concert, Liza with a Z. And it's a very emotional piece about her love life and her children, and how her husband left them. And I had a lady come up to me one night who said, when you performed that piece, I was just so moved, you know, and so much so that she actually called my company later this year and asked if I would perform that exact number at her 40th birthday. And it's that type of acknowledgement and recognition that drives you to continue. And now that we're at the Metcalfe Playhouse, I'm actually able to open up and explore that a lot more, because the Blue Room's, you know, a sort of a smaller theatre. Now we're going to this larger theatre, and we've changed it to be a two-part show, so we've got an interval, and we've added just a few more things in to open the show and sort of expanded on some of the stories, because we do go into not only the performance spectrum of drag, but also what lies underneath the wigs and the makeup and the lashes. So we'll be expanding and telling people why we do it, how we got into it, and what drag is.